Okay, here I'm going to create for you a number of different bar charts. And the bar charts are basically the column charts, but sideways. So they call the sideways ones bars, the vertical ones, those are columns. But I'm also going to show you how to do some, or add some special effects as well to these. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to create our first bar graph. This is going to be taking the different categories of product that we have here, and we're going to go ahead and then match that up with the totals and come up with a single bar, for each one of these. So we'll start out first of all by going from A2 and selecting from there down to the sailboards. Then we'll hold down the control key and go from the total down to the bottom as well. So that'll be our start. We'll go back to insert. We'll go back into our column and bar area, and here's our bars. We'll start out with the cluster, the first one here, the two-dimensional. Click onto that, and we'll go ahead and we'll pull this one down a little bit. Put it down about right there. We'll bring it out to about E. That looks about good. All right, so that'll be the first part. All right, we'll go ahead too, and we'll bring this down. I think about the height's good there. All right, so I'll double click one of the bars and go back into the fill, and we will fill this up with varied colors, kind of make it look like that. And then what I'll also do is I'll double click it. Oh, get back there again. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get the gap width here. And then I'll make it a little bit wider. That looks good. All right. Okay, now I'll get the title that we have here. Click up there, hit the formula bar, hit the equal, and scroll up, and we'll click on to the title. Hit the enter key, and that'll give us that. And then we'll go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. So I'll go back to home, hit the big A a few times here, make it bold. There we go. And I'd like to add the value of each of these bars right within the bar itself. So instead of having to look at the gauge down here and kind of match it up, I can get the exact number right in there. Now, what I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on to the elements button there. We're going to go over to the data labels. All right, I can click onto that. Now, what I like to do is get the number inside right at the very end. So an easy way to do that would be to go over to the data labels. I can actually click onto here, go down to more options, and that'll kind of change the panel here. And then what I can do is I can go over to the this first one here, the label options, and I've got in there. And down at the bottom here, I can tell it that I want them on the inside end, and that'll kind of move them in there. Now, while I've got them selected, what I'll do is I'll change their color to white. I'll make them bold, make it kind of stand out a little bit more there. As you can see, my scaling down here is at about 45,000 at the peak. If I can reduce that to maybe about 40, then I can kind of stretch these out to go out a little bit further. So if I go and double click onto the axis here, all right, I can tell it that I want my maximum to instead of being 45,000, I can change that number to 40,000, all right? And by doing that, I'll just kind of click over here. You can kind of see it kind of stretch out a little bit more. Gives me a little bit more room, kind of stretch out there. I'm going to go over here and I'll make this, click onto that and make that bold. There we go. Makes it a little bit thicker looking. Now, because I have the actual values in the bars here, I really don't need this axis down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the little elements button here, go to where it says axis or axes, hit that little arrow and tell it that I don't really need the horizontal axis. And that takes that away. Now if I did the same thing with the vertical, then I get rid of my labels. I don't want to do that. But that part there, I think that's good. All right. Okay, so now I want to do another graph here that is going to be kind of similar to this one, but it will be where it'll give us the details as far as the different reps. It'll show a section for each one of them. So we're going to do a stacked bar, so where we can actually see each of these values kind of being represented in a segment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select from here all the way down to all my categories, all my people, and then I'm also going to include the total. All right, and you'll see why in just a little bit here, but I'm going to include that as well. All right, and I know I said in the very beginning of all these videos that you usually don't want to have the total in there with the regular numbers, but there are some exceptions, and you'll see why in just a little bit here. So we'll take care of that there, and then we'll go back and hit insert, and we'll go back into our column and bars. And this time we're going to go with the stack. So we're going to do the stacked bar here. And I'll click onto that. And there we go. And then again, we'll move this down to the bottom here. Kind of line up about right there. Kind of shorten up just a little bit here. And there we have it. All right, so I'm going to take the legend and I'm going to put that at the top. Do that there. I could probably make it just a little bit smaller. So I'll go back up, I'll click on it, go back to home, hit the small A here and kind of bring that down just one notch. I'll make it bold, kind of make it a little bit thicker looking. All right, so there we go on that one. I'll also click on the title area there, go up on my formula bar, put an equal in there, click on the title that I want to link to, and there we go. And then while that's selected there, I'll make that one just a little bit bigger and make that bold as well. So it'll kind of match with the other one there. All right, now here's the next thing I want to do is go ahead and make the bars a little bit thicker like we had for this one here. So I'll just double click one of the bars and I'll go over to my gap width there, make that narrow. Oh, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now, close that up. Now, the reason why I added the total to all this is because I want to take the total here, add the data value or data label to just the total bar, all right, or bars that you see here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that value in to the bar itself, and then we're going to get rid of the overall look of the bar. We're going to get rid of the frame of the bar, get rid of the color of the bar, so all that's going to be left is just the number. And that number then will represent the total, aka the total of all of these little segments of each of our reps. So it's kind of a neat little effect there. So what we'll do here is we'll click onto the bar for the total, go to the elements, go to our data labels, and what we can do here is I'll just go in there into the more options here. We'll just do it from here. We're going to have the value. I want this at the inside end. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, we'll do it at the inside base. So inside base, all right? All right, then I'll go ahead and close that up for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the color on these. Or actually not the color, because that'll be a dark color that will at least make it bold. All right, so there we've got a bold on there. Now, the next thing that we need to do is make the bar pretty much invisible. All right, so we'll point to it. I'll double click it, and that will activate all of them, and then I'll bring this out here. And then I'll go back into the fill area here and tell it that I want no fill. So right now it's filling it with brown. So no fill, all right? And then for the border, no line, so no border going around there. So I do those two things, click away from it, and look what I have. That's a neat little trick. Now I want to change my axis scaling so the maximum is maybe about 45,000. So if I can make this point here 45,000, then it'll stretch this out more, see? So I'll go ahead and I'll point to this, I'll double click it, all right? And then I'll change the maximum from 90,000 to 45,000. I can just click right there. And look at that, huh? And I can close that up. And there we go. Not bad. And the other thing too is we really don't need to have this axis down here. So I'll click back onto the graph, go to my elements, and for the axes, I don't need my horizontal. So I'll take that off, just like that. And I can probably stand and make the legend just a tad larger there, so I'll bring it up a notch. I guess that looks okay. All right, so I think we're good there. Now I got one more graph to do, and then we'll be done here. Okay, for this last one, we're going to take our different reps, and we're going to create the bars just for their totals that they had here. So, or the totals that I had down here. So, what we'll do here is we'll select up to like Missy there, and then we'll hold down the control key and select from total over to there. Okay, let go of the control key. Then go ahead and go back into insert, go to our column and bar, and we'll go with the two-dimensional. Do that, and then we'll go ahead and pull that one down. Now this one, what we'll do is we're going to make it so where it will kind of span across both of them. So we'll go to the beginning of this one here and pull that one across like that. There it is. And we can also pull this up a little bit. We don't need to be that wide or that thick there, but something about like that. And then we can also double click the bar, get rid of that gap over with there. So we bring that, maybe bring it back just a little bit here. There we go. All right. And then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and we'll put the labels, the data labels at the end here. So we'll go back to our elements here. There's our data labels, and we can actually just click this. This is good. And then we can click onto there, go back to home and make them bold. I can also double click the bar and go to my fill and go with the varied colors by point. There we go. Go ahead and close that up. All right, and other than that, probably we really don't need to have the axis down here. So while we've got this open here, we can just go click onto that and tell it we don't need the horizontal axis. Now we go over here, click onto that, make it bold. Maybe even bring it up a notch in size there. And we can also click on the labels and make them match as well. So bring that up to 10 as well. Go ahead and click onto the title. Put the equal over in the formula bar. And then we'll click on to there. Hit enter, and now we've got the title there. We can make it a little bit larger and make it bold. A new feature I want to add to this will be a shadowing kind of an effect. So we're not going 3D here, but I still want to make it look like it's kind of casting a shadow for each of the bars. So I'll click onto one of the bars, go back up into my format, and go over here to the shape effects, and I've got shadow, and I've got these guys here. So I can cast a shadow. I can have internal shadow, which kind of doesn't look that good. but maybe this one right here. And you just get kind of a nice little shadow in there. Another minor thing we can do is get rid of the grid lines that we have here. We don't really need that for this one here, so we can actually just click on there, and where it says grid lines, we'll just take that check mark off, and now that's gone. So there we go. So there is our data. There's our graph, or graphs that we have, different designs there a little bit. So hopefully maybe this will give you some ideas as far as what you can do. Oh, you know, I just thought of something else too. If you want to make these kind of stand out, kind of get more of a framing, let's say, for here, we can actually click on to that, go back up into the format, and go over to where we've got the shape outline. We can give it a weight of maybe about maybe 3 point, and then go back in there again and give it a color. So you can find a color. Maybe you want to go with black, or you might go with maybe one of the reds or greens or something like that. So you can click onto that. We can also add a little bit of a shadow to that as well, so we'll cast a shadow. And now for this one here, I'll show you a little bit different thing here. We can go and do the same kind of framing here. So we'll go here and we'll tell it the weight of about 3. All right. And then what we can do is we can go to the shape effect, and we have this glow effect here. We can do something like this. Got orange and yellow and so forth. But if we pick maybe the orange and click away from that, you can see that. It's kind of interesting, so that might be another way. I can also go back to this one here, go back to the Home tab here, click onto my Format Painter, and then click onto this one here. You used to be able to do this, maybe not. Nope, it's not letting me do it anymore. All right, so, well, if I want to go with this one here to make it look like that one there, then I'll just click on this one here, go back to my format, go to my outline. Oh, outline there. Go to my effects here, tell it no glow, and then go back to the outline, find the color, and maybe then go back over here and go with maybe a shadow. All right, there we go. All right, so hope this gives you some ideas here. We can go with in the future with your work. Hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate you watching. Take care.